Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. During a work-in and inspection visit to the first military region, Army General Saïd Chingriha hails the vital role of the central supply base in enhancing the operational readiness of the armed forces, emphasizing that major challenges are overcome through strong will, backed by competence and professionalism. Sonatrach signs 5 new hydrocarbon contracts worth $600 million in partnership with foreign oil companies. The deals focus on exploration under the 2024 Algeria bid round. Famine takes over Gaza while the world watches in silence as the Zionist entity uses starvation as a weapon against innocent civilians. Welcome back. First off, the Army General Saïd Chingriha, Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense and Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, paid a working visit this Monday to the Shahid Mohammed Saudi Central Logistics Base, known as Si Mustafa in Blida in the 1st Military Region, a flagship of the military industry covering an area of 150 hectares and employing 2,500 workers, including military and civilian personnel. More details with Anya Bahri.
Following the welcoming ceremony accompanied by the Army General, Commander of the Land Forces, and in the presence of heads of departments, the Inspector General of the Army and Central Directors, the Army General observed 2 presentations by the Central Director of Equipment and the Director General of the Central Supply Base. The Army General then inspected the various workshops at the base, including tracked vehicle renovation workshops and the casting and manufacturing workshops. He viewed samples of the upgraded and modernized equipment at this important base. The Army General was giving comprehensive explanations on the various stages of renovation and modernization. He then inspected the field hospital manufactured at the base. The Army General then laid the foundation stone for the project to study and complete the construction of a machinery workshop and 2 storage warehouses, in addition to inaugurate a battery production line, which will achieve self-sufficiency and meet the full needs of the People's National Army. During his visit to the Central Supply Base, the Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, praised the strategic importance of this facility in supporting the readiness of the People's National Army. He highlighted its pivotal role in renewing equipment and adapting and modernizing weapon systems. In a speech delivered on the same occasion, he expressed his pleasure at meeting the executives and users of this base, emphasizing that the People's National Army has adopted a gradual approach in achieving its objectives based on a firm conviction that nothing is impossible, regardless of the challenges. He also highlighted the efforts being made to transform this facility into a strategic logistics hub, serving as a launching pad for building a promising national military industry in conjunction with the other institutions of the Directorate of Military Industries. He emphasized that this ambitious endeavor enjoys the direct support of the President of the Republic, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, who is committed to enhance self-reliance and developing an effective local industry that contributes in reducing the import bill and driving the national economy forward.
بتقليص فاتورة الاستيراد والدفع بعجلة الاقتصاد الوطني.
The Army General emphasized that confronting major challenges in various fields requires strong resolve, characterized by determination and relying on competence and experience, in addition to embrace noble values such as integrity, loyalty, and an awareness of the sensitivity of the tasks assigned. He explained that achieving the desired goals requires working to gradually reduce dependence on external forces by developing internal capabilities to adapt the equipment and supplies of the People's National Army to the requirements of effective operational performance. This will contribute to enhance operational efficiency and improve field performance in a tangible and continuous manner.
الفعلي والنوعي سنة بعد أخرى لمردوديته الميدانية.
At the end of his visit, the Army General listened to the presentations of the officers and personnel who demonstrated their unwavering will and commitment to best accomplish the missions assigned by the High Command to effectively participate in the development of all components of our Army and maintain the availability of its equipment in its various weapons systems. In other news, 5 hydrocarbon contracts were signed this Monday in Algiers between Sonatrach and several foreign oil companies as part of the results of the Algiers bid round 2024. The agreements include the official awarding of exploration rights. The signing ceremony was overseen by the Minister of State, Minister of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies in the presence of the Minister of Knowledge Economy, Startups and Microenterprises, the CEO of Sonatrach Group, the President of the National Agency for the Development of Hydrocarbon Resources, and representatives of foreign companies. The minimum investment value planned under these 3 contracts is approximately $600 million dedicated to exploration. The daily window on the situation in the Middle East. The Palestinian civilians now risk death for food, with aid used as a bait as healthcare crumbles and hunger deepens. Calls for global interventions grow louder, but with no success. Najah Tayyar has more.
In Gaza, the humanitarian aid is turned into a deadly trap as the occupier uses it as a bait, targeting a starving population, and those who don't die from hunger are shot down, victims of a strategy aimed at whipping out an entire people. Our children are dying of hunger. I swear to you, my own nephews literally died of starvation. My sister can't stop crying for them. We just want to eat. May God punish the guilty. These poor souls just went out to find some flour, and this is what happened to them. Despite surviving the bullets of the Zionist forces, many in Gaza face another deadly obstacle, the complete collapse of the healthcare system. In response, the exhausted medical teams have sounded the alarm, but so far, their desperate voices seem ignored by an international community that remains largely indifferent. We are here to raise the alarm about the food blockade imposed by the Zionist occupier on our people and the ban on delivering humanitarian and food aid into the Gaza Strip. The joining paramedics alongside Gaza's journalists cry out, hoping for the world to finally hear their people's pain. Through this gathering, we are sending a clear message to the world. We, the Palestinians in Gaza, are being exterminated not only by the bombings of the Zionist entity, but also by its starvation policy imposed through the blockade. We need our journalists to convey the suffering we endure daily. We are a people deprived of everything. Stripped of everything but their dignity, the Palestinian people face the unbearable, besieged, starving and grieving as the Zionist occupier continues its futile attempt to break their spirit.
On to the diplomatic forum of solidarity with the Sahrawi people held this Monday at the South African Embassy in Algiers. An opportunity to take stock of the latest developments in Africa's last colony and thereby renew the Sahrawi people's unwavering commitment to continue their struggle for self-determination. The forum provided an opportunity to present a defined report on the main developments concerning Western Sahara. Participants also emphasized the need to strengthen solidarity and support for the Sahrawi cause. This meeting was marked by the presence of the South African ambassador to Algeria and the ambassador of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic.
We presented a very detailed report on the main developments related to the Western Sahara issue. During this diplomatic forum, we emphasized the need to strengthen solidarity and support for the Sahrawi cause, while also highlighting the importance of activating available mechanisms such as the African Union and the United Nations. We stressed the need to work consistently through legal frameworks and international legitimacy. It is crucial to adhere to the legal and legitimate framework that defines the nature of the Sahrawi issue from both a legal and legitimate standpoint, despite all attempts to distort it. The Sahrawi question remains fundamentally a matter of decolonization and a right to self-determination for the Sahrawi people. The Western Sahara is one of the 17 territories listed by the United Nations as non-self-governing. Therefore, any approach to this issue, including efforts to find a solution to the conflict between us and Morocco, must be based on the solid legal foundation. It should not imply any form of recognition of the illegal occupation of the Western Sahara, and this legal base is upheld by the UN General Assembly and the Security Council resolutions.
An official source at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and in response to the statement of French Minister of Interior, in which he announced that he had issued instructions not to recognize passports issued by Algerian consulates to Algerian citizens for the purpose of obtaining residence permits, confirmed that the granting of these passports is a right of the Algerian citizens and is the responsibility of the sovereign Algerian state. More details with Daniel Bahri.
In response to an inquiry from a responsible source at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs regarding the statement made recently by the French Minister of the Interior to Le Figaro newspaper, in which he announced his intention to instruct the French governorate not to recognize passports issued by the Algerian consulate to Algerian citizens for the purpose of obtaining residence permits. A reliable source emphasized that issuing Algerian passports is a sovereign right of the Algerian state and a fundamental right for its citizens. As such, the recognition of these documents by the French authorities should be considered a given. The same source strongly criticized recent remarks by the French Minister of the Interior, describing them as arbitrary, discriminatory, and a clear abuse of power. According to the source, the statement not only contradicts the spirit of bilateral relations, but also violates French legislation itself, as it lacks any legal foundation within French law. Highlighting the practical role of these documents, the source pointed out that the passports in question are often requested by French prefectures, particularly as an essential reference documents in residence permit applications. In this context, the French minister's refusal to recognize these passports is seen as a serious infringement on individual rights and yet another breach of France's bilateral commitments toward Algeria.
Bruno Retailleau's latest remarks have sparked criticism for worsening France-Algeria relations, highlighting the far right's growing reliance on populist rhetoric and its failure to offer real answers. Najah Tayyar with the details.
Each time Retailleau speaks to far media outlets, he offers no real solutions, only further inflames tensions and widens the divide between France and Algeria. In this most recent interview with Le Figaro, now a frequent platform for his hostile and racist rhetoric, he once again expressed a clear attachment to discriminatory ideologies, backed by media figures who parade under a false banner of patriotism, many of whom aren't even French descent. He persists in stalking hatred towards foreigners and fueling xenophobia discourse. You're not even French yourself. I believe you have Persian ancestry. If you were really a French, you would have approached the topic of citizenship differently. Desperate to hold onto his fate and influence, Otayo resorts to hollow and theatrical moves that reflect his waning political relevance. Far from helping his cause, each of his positions drags him deeper into a mire of racist discourse and political decay. 44 billion euros per year lost through tax cuts benefiting a small wealthy elite. All of this returned 44 billion euros a year to the rich, and now the same people come to us and say we need to recover 44 billion euros. But from whom? The sick, the unemployed, the workers, the retirees? I do not agree with that. The dominance of populism over diplomatic vision and the reference for provocation over dialogue reflect a profound crisis within France's far-right politics, exposing their inability to propose genuine, workable solutions.
That's part of efforts to combat crimes targeting the national economy. Border police at Algiers Houari Boumediene International Airport, in coordination with customs services, recently carried out a successful operation. 2 women were arrested while preparing to board a flight to Istanbul, Turkey. Authorities seized foreign currency in their possession, 120,400 euros and 1,800 euros, hidden in their luggage and clothing, in an attempt to smuggle the money out of the country. Further investigations by the Border Police Criminal Division revealed that the 2 suspects were active members of a criminal network involved in money laundering, currency smuggling, and the unauthorized import of foreign origin goods. The suspects were brought before the public prosecutor at the Dar al-Bida court for prosecution. With that, we end tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us. See you soon.